In this video, I'm going to help you understand how I learned how to deal with my daughter's clothing sensitivity issues and how you might use this process too. So my name is Jackie and I am the founder of HomeSchool ThinkTank and host of the HomeSchool ThinkTank Parenting Podcast. And let's start with the story. So when my daughter was young, when she was really young, actually, she wore a lot of hand-me-downs. And in a sense, this masked some of her clothing sensitivity issues. While I always realized that just choosing clothes was difficult for her, it wasn't until I started having to buy her brand new clothes because we had a family member that gave us a lot of hand-me-downs, and then she has an older sister who she wore her hand-me-downs. But as my oldest daughter started wearing that clothing out, of course I had to buy my younger daughter brand new clothes on a regular basis. And what I came to realize is that new clothing for a child who has clothing sensory issues is tight, it can be scratchy, it's uncomfortable, and especially shoes can be really challenging to buy for a child who has clothing sensitivity. So, over the years, I developed a process to deal with this, and it's not something I thought about consciously. It's sort of something I just stumbled upon. So here is the process that I ended up using. First of all, I quit shopping with my daughter. At some point, I realized that this was really difficult. It was stressful for her, it was stressful for me, and honestly, sometimes it was downright embarrassing because my daughter would oftentimes seem ungrateful about things, and every pair of shoes she would try on, she would say, "I hate these, I hate this, I don't like it." And I really can remember just feeling mortified at times because it was just like this scene in the store. And I literally remember the last time that I shopped for shoes with her before she was like a teenager. And because I was just so embarrassed. But I didn't even have the phrase clothing sensitivity or sensory processing disorder in my vocabulary. I didn't really understand what I was dealing with. But here's the process I ultimately ended up doing is, number one, I quit shopping with my daughter. Instead, I simply shopped for her and I brought clothing home. Now, if you must shop with your child, I really suggest going during the store's quieter hours. And if you need to, call the store and ask them, what days of the week do you tend to be the quietest? What hours? And if you need to, explain, I'm shopping with a child who has difficulties with clothing. Some people will understand it, some don't. A whole lot of people don't understand this. Okay, so number one is shop for your child, bring the clothing home. So number two is realize that you are going to be doing returns. And once you realize this and just accept it, it actually makes things easier. So instead of bringing just one size of something home, go ahead and bring 2 or 3 sizes home. That way, if your child just tries on the one size and they're just a little too short, you can probably just keep the other ones. You might not even need them to try on the second pair, right? But you have options right away in the size. Maybe it's like, sometimes you can buy the same shirt in 3 different prints. Maybe you do that, bring the different options home that way. But I'm going to warn you, if you give your child too many options, then that can be overwhelming. Most people get overwhelmed pretty easily in reality, and definitely children do, but a child who has sensory processing issues is overwhelmed even more easily than the average child. So, try to limit it to 2 or 3 options, and then you can choose the size of whatever you buy. So for 3 outfits, you might be bringing home 9 articles of clothing if you're doing 3 different sizes. But you already know you're going to be doing returns because as a parent of a child who has sensory processing issues, you already know they're gonna find some things itchy, you find things too tight, and so just plan on doing the returns and your life will be easier that way. Now, here's the next thing. So I shopped without my child. I would just bring the clothing home. Now, the third aspect is really important. Just because you just went shopping and brought the clothes home doesn't mean you have to present those clothes to your child right away. I already knew that my child, and this is only one of my kids, and I want to say this, like, I really thought in the beginning, how am I raising such an ungrateful child? I really didn't understand that she had sensory processing issues and that some clothing was genuinely just, she couldn't hardly stand to wear it. So once you understand this, the next thing is you already know that your child is probably going to hate all of the clothes you bring home. They're not gonna like any of it. So before you present new clothing to your child, it's important to manage your own mind and only do that, like give your child these new clothes when you're ready to deal with it. So you don't want to give your kid the clothes and have them say, I hate these, I don't like these. And it's like you have to brace yourself. You just have to be ready for it because you know it's gonna happen. You know they really can't help it. So whether you actually give the clothing to your children or you just put it in their room for them to find, only do that when you're ready for what seems like an ungrateful response from your child, if that's what you get. That is pretty much what I got with my youngest kid, she seemed ungrateful, but she really just has a hard time with change. That's another thing to understand. For kids who have sensory processing disorders, oftentimes they just have a hard time with change in general, a harder time than most people do. And new clothes are different. They're just different. All right, so here was my next process. Shop without my child, buy multiple sizes, patterns, options, but not too many, and then only give her the new clothes when I'm ready for the fallout that I know is going to happen. The fourth thing was I really stumbled upon this on accident, and it probably was like, she said, I hate these clothes, I don't like these clothes, and I was like, fine, and I just said, I'm gonna go put them on the washing machine. And I did. I just put them on the dryer or the washing machine or whatever. Well, a day or two later, she was like, maybe I'll try on those clothes. I'm like, well, they're on the dryer, go get them. So she'd try them on and it would be like, she puts them on and I hate these. And she probably didn't even have them on for a minute and took them back off, put them on the dryer. A day or two later, we repeat the process. Another day or two later, she tries them on. Maybe she wears them for 10 minutes. And eventually, at some point, she might even pull the tags off on her own and just wear them. So this actually is the real process that I ended up stumbling upon as I was like, oh, at the point that I just realized she was gonna hate everything, it's like I didn't have all the emotion around it, because there was a time when I just felt so frustrated and I would be like, what am I doing wrong? How am I raising such an ungrateful child? Because she just hated everything, didn't like any of it, and seemed so ungrateful. And now I realize that just a lot of clothes really are uncomfortable for her. She really does have a hard time with change. So really what happened is she didn't have this pressure to like the clothing anymore. I really was unattached to the outcome. I could care less whether she kept the things or not. At the end of the day, I needed her to have a couple of outfits that she would wear during any particular season, 2 to 4 outfits, and whatever. There was just this point, whatever. You like it or you don't. I just know within 30 days, I'm returning what we're not wearing, period. So I wasn't emotional about it, and I think that she didn't feel this pressure from me to like or even wear any of the clothing. So that really is like the process for helping my child wear brand new clothes. Now, here are some other tips for you. If you have a child who has clothing sensory issues, then honestly, hand-me-down clothes are amazing, or shopping at the thrift store, because those clothes are often soft, they're washed, they're broken in, they're just more comfortable for kids. Sometimes maybe a size a little bit big, shoes a little bit loose might be helpful. Elastic waistbands are sometimes helpful, especially with younger kids. If you have adolescent daughters, wireless bras, maybe a sports bra, but not, the underwire. Just think comfort for children who have clothing sensitivity issues. Now, I want to share with you, while way back when I was not a certified life coach, I actually am a certified life coach now. And while I cannot help your child who has clothing sensitivities, what I can do is help you learn how to manage your own mind so that you are better equipped to help your child who has clothing sensitivities or other special needs or issues. So what I discovered is when I started really diving deep into mindset work, and I actually started doing this so that I would succeed with Homeschool ThinkTank, because I just thought I'm never going to succeed with this organization if I don't learn how to manage my own mind better. That those skills I started learning really carried over into my parenting, and it helped me improve my parenting skills. And I'm telling you, I have siblings who are like 15 and 16 years younger than me. I helped with them a lot. I was a really good big sister when they were younger. I have a degree in physical education. I've worked at a nationally accredited preschool. I have experience working with children, and I really feel like I'm a good mom. But when you have a challenging child, that is challenging for the best of parents. And it can be so easy to just feel so frustrated and to lose your cool sometimes. Believe me, no judgment. I've been there, and it's just like, what the heck? So when you work with me, I can help you learn skills to keep your calm in moments that are so challenging. And so while I own Homeschool ThinkTank and I specialize in helping parents who homeschool their kids, I also do individual coaching with other parents as well. So if you have a child who has special needs or challenges, you can sign up for a free consultation with me, and we can see if you think I can help you, if I think I can help you, and then maybe work together in a one-on-one capacity. I'm here to tell you, with all of my education, all the parenting books and classes that I've read, taken, the number one thing that has helped me in parenting a child who honestly has special needs is learning how to manage my own mind better. So if you want to work with me, don't hesitate to sign up for a free consultation with me. At the time that I'm releasing this video, I'm simply sending you to my homeschool consulting page. But remember, even if you don't homeschool your kids, I do work with parents in a one-on-one capacity. If you homeschool your kids, I can work with you in a one-on-one capacity, or you can join my parenting group for homeschooling parents called Thrive. And in that group, I offer homeschool consulting services and life coaching services as well to homeschooling parents. So either way, click on the link beneath this video wherever you're watching it, and it will take you to an article that goes with this video about clothing sensory issues. But if you're already on our website, the link beneath this will take you to where you can sign up for a free consultation with me. All right, you take care, and I wish you the best of luck as you are raising a child who has clothing sensory issues. All right, live and learn your way. My name is Jackie. I'm your host of the Homeschool Think Tank Parenting Podcast and video channel. Bye-bye.